that once mastered will open the world of profit and happiness and whatever.
Okay, so hello everybody. I'm joined today by Anthony, our co-founder at SwissBorg and our CSO. He's also internally referred to as our spiritual leader and a bit of our prophet. He has an incredible ability to really see market trends and where the finance market is nearly moving ahead of the curve. So thank you for joining me today, Anthony, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me today. Dear borgers, family members, crypto enthusiasts, investors all around the world, as Alex will say, I am thrilled and pumped to be here with you today to take part of this initiative at SwissBorg, to be here every single day of the week, to share with you knowledge, insight, news, and experiences in order for you to become better investors. So my name is Anthony. I've been investing professionally for 15 years and individually as well, right? And I'm here in this journey with you to share my experiences and my knowledge about how much psychology and human behavior can influence your success into your investment journey. So Alex, right back to you.
Wonderful. To start it off, we're going to touch upon the subject connecting investment, psychology, and spirituality. And the first part in that is, for us at SwissBorg, empowerment is really more than a marketing claim. Do you want to go a bit deeper into that, Anthony?
Absolutely. I think, from the very beginning, from the very early days of this journey at SwissBorg, empowerment is one of the reasons why we're here. And I think when people ask me, why are you so excited? Why did you start this journey with crypto? What was the excitement? What was the spark? I think it's a big one of them. Because I've seen for many years now, maybe more than 15 years, fintech coming to the market with this idea, we are going to disrupt traditional finance. And they claim most of the time, we want to empower investors. But the reality is the way they are designed, with shareholders on one hand, customer on the other hand, employee and founders that do not necessarily align in the same direction because they don't necessarily want the same from the company. They struggle, right? Because maybe the incentive to truly empower the investor or their client will not beneficiate to the company itself, right? As a measure of revenue, as a measure of growth. So most of the time they use that as a marketing claim because of course everyone wants to be empowered to become better, but they fail to deliver on the promise. And the reason why I was excited by crypto is because from the moment you stop to think in terms of shareholders, company members, customer, and you align everyone by becoming a token member or token holder in the company, I have no question to ask myself. From the moment I empower anyone in the community to become better, I grow the ecosystem as a result. And I think I've been always excited by the power of crypto to, in a sense, change the game, truly change the game of finance, not only because they provide a new way to create digital assets, but because they change as well the psychology. So I think from the very early days, truly empowering investor at SwissBorg have been the centerpiece of our motivation. And I think when we say invest, the way I will define empowering investor comes from two very important components. The first one is to design a very honest and transparent investment experience, that you understand what you're doing all across the process. You're not focusing only on the destination, but we give you all the tools in order to understand what was the journey. And the second one, and I think that's one of the reasons we're trying this new session today as well, is to provide you with the space, the time, and sometimes the tools as well that you can learn and reflect on its experiences. And this learning can be refilled in your next experiences. That with time, you activate growth, personal growth at the personal level. And that's what the excitement comes from, is aligning this planet and having the power to be up to the promise of what we say when we say, let's go and empower people in the community.
Which is going to bridge up to the next topic, which is that the number one mistake is that finance is not a science. Do you want to elaborate on that?
For sure. I mean, I love this topic because, I think terminology, and it's not something that is just about finance. I think terminology in general in our daily life could be a barrier to progress because we associate terminology with meanings. And the reality is terminology is a very single, it's a very small element. So if I use, we had this discussion last time, if I use love, what loves mean? Loves mean it's a single word to describe an infinite spectrum of experiences, right? So I think when we go back to finance, we usually associate finance with science. A science that once mastered will open the world of profit and happiness and whatever. And there is a reason why. I think the industry have been keep telling people this is a science, right? Because there is much more to earn when people believe it's a science that maybe they don't have the skills to participate into, and they give up more easily their power, right? And there is a science when you sell techniques, or when you sell recipe to make you a successful investor. So there is a rational reason why industry won't make you believe this is a science. But reality is, finance is not science. It's human science. It's behavior, right? And it's something that can be, it's very difficult to grasp. It could very hardly be anticipated. But we can design tools to approach this and surf along with it. So the difference between finance and science is, for example, if tomorrow we build together a plane and we learn the formula to build a plane, this formula has been here maybe since 100 years time, right? And it's the same. There is a consistency. So if we learn this formula today, we can reuse it in 100 years from now. The rules that make the physical reason why a plane can fly today are going to be the same in 100 years from now. The same that have been the same 100 years back from now, right? But what will make you a successful investor right now? So the recipe or the different elements that can make you make money right now are not necessarily true across time. And with that regard, they're not a perfect science. And I think it's very important to put the people into the scope that this is not science. Finance is behavioral finance, which means that you need to better understand you on the first place, and then you can start to think of more metrics such as performance and other metrics that I think we need to broaden, because finance is not only a successful investor, in my opinion, should not be only associated with how much money you make, because you can make a lot of money and still feel, for example, very miserable. So I think there is a kind of alignment, and that's the purpose of our episode, and hopefully the next coming forwards, is how can I align on this planet and better approach finance from a more concrete and human level point of view rather than purely science.
So what would be the first immediate action for people to take? Is that to make the transition from a need to earn to a need to learn?
Yeah, exactly. I think, first of all, we live in a society where we have a bias toward very short-term outcome. So we use social media. There is a bunch of things that that trigger our emotion, that boost our adrenaline, and we get addicted to it, right? So we live in a very short-term sighted society. But reality is investment is again, it's a very large spectrum. You can, if you look at Bitcoin and the last 2 months that just happened, it's terrible, right? If you zoom out and you look at the 10 years, it's an amazing investment. It's the best investment of all time. So it's not really the investment itself that is poor, is how you will behave that will make the investment successful or not successful. So let me give you an example. I think recently we've seen, especially in the crypto environment, a lot of companies failing, right? And I think most of them have been offering this earn program, right? So most of the people, when you interview people, they will say, oh, I trust this company and I give all my money to this company, right? With the promise that I can make 10% of my USDC, for example, right? And now they are going bankrupt. I don't know when I'm going to recover my money, how much money I'm going to recover, and I blame them, right, for this mistake. And I think when in one hand it's rightly to feel that they were using marketing in the wrong manner, so they were oversimplifying the process of earning money, and as a result, you were mistaken into your investment. I think if you blame completely the outside, if you always find excuses for your own action that are outside, you will never grow as a result. Because I think every decision that we take, we need to own them. We need to be responsible for them. So I think one of the first outcome of being involved right now in this type of environment is to learn from it, to learn to say that maybe when something seems to be beautiful to be true, right? I have this short-term adrenaline rush to say, I want this reality to happen. So I'm going to go along with it. But when you do that, you can be a victim, or I can trust myself. I can trust my natural instinct to say, maybe there is more I need to ask. So I must ask why. Why is it so easy? Why my bank is giving me 2% or 1% a year, and in Europe, negative rate? And why this guy giving me 10%? And if they can't explain, then you need to go deeper, right? So I think there is what I say usually to people that start in our team, the investment team, I say there is no reason to blame losing money. It's only losing money if you can't transform this into a learning experience for yourself. So I think it's very important to start to learn from every experience that you can make, that then this is not just simply losing money. It can be reinjected with time, will make you a very successful investor, or will make you align with what you're doing. Because some people invest, they lose money and they don't feel bad about it because they were clearly informed about their action. And I think in finances, as we say, it's not necessarily a science. So I think if you want to learn guitar, if you want to experience the beauty of playing your favorite song with guitar, you need to learn on the first place. And it seems obvious to you. I think the same applies with finance. We are so, and we can be lucky. That's the main difference between learning guitar, but there is very little likelihood that you can play your favorite song instantly. And with investment, where you can start to invest and make money, and getting into this trap reality where it's easy. Reality, it's easy, but it's a journey that you need to build for yourself. And every investor is going to be different. So at the end of the day, the essential message is every experience is an occasion to learn about yourself. And even myself, after 15 years, and I was so proud to say it's been 15 years, reality is I still make terrible mistakes. But I don't blame the outside world. I blame myself, and I'm trying to grow with these experiences.